phone has not finished anything.
Oh.
Said nothing. Hey! Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lunch Break with ATI. I'm Cindy Collins, one of the co-founders here at Actors Theater of Indiana, the professional theater company at the Center for the Performing Arts, and that's someone's phone. It might even be my phone, but I don't think so. Is it Philip's? Philip, is it your phone?
I am so sorry.
Oh,
Philip.
yeah, Philip's fired. So, anyway, so hi, welcome. So last week we started having the performers from our production, Mr. Confidential, on. What we're going to do is our next production is Mr. Confidential, opens April 28th and runs to May 14th. And so during the rehearsal period and the run of the show, we're going to have on different cast members and the artistic team. And so last week it was Tim Fullerton, and he is playing Howard Rushmore in the show. And this week, and I'm going to let you guys go down and introduce yourselves. These are three of my fellow cast members here. They have graciously given their time to be on the podcast today. But that's what we're going to do. We started last week. We're going to go all the way, to the Wednesday of closing week with different people involved in the show. So go.
Hi, my name is Kiernan Danaan, and I'm playing Fred Mead in Mr. Confidential.
My name is Megan Arrington, and I played Betty.
I'm Emily Bohannon, and I am playing Gail Forrester.
And what happens in the show is there's really no ensemble people. Everybody is playing multiple roles. Kieran plays Fred, who is my son-in-law, but he's also, everybody's dancing all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
And Megan and Emily are playing those roles that they just said, but they're also people in other little smaller roles. So it's there is really, to my opinion, there really is no ensemble. We're all doing, there's the leads. There's Bob Harrington, who's Don is playing. I'm playing his sister Edith. Judy Fitzgerald, the other co-founder, is playing Frances Rushmore. And so it's that, and there's, you guys are just playing a multitude of things.
Right.
And it's a huge show, a beast, but, and they can tell you, because we're in rehearsal right now, and it's crazy, but we open next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the magic of theater, oh, poof, it'll all come together. So let's start, and I just to get to know you guys a little better.
Yeah.
We hired you. I worked with Megan. Megan and I did the Rocky Horror Show.
Yes, we did.
Last
Oh my
fall
God.
at
Yes.
the down at the Athenaeum,
That's how I met Cindy.
and that's how we met, and it was a blast. It was a good time. That show.
So
My
much
God,
fun.
it was so much fun. And but Kieran is new to ATI. We are all new to ATI.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Kieran, you're a native of Indiana.
Yeah, I was born here in Indianapolis, I think up in Fishers. St. Vincent's. It was January 5th of a certain year, I can't remember. But it was the middle of a blizzard, so I am storm-born,
Mm-hmm.
and my screams were louder than the howling winds outside, and that's why I'm an actor, so.
Love it.
You have good chops, man. Yeah, Kieran is super talented and
Thank you.
very lucky to have you in this show, honestly. And it was great because he's a native of Indiana, So when he sent in his video submission, he said, "Well, my family lives there, So we were like, "Oh, this is awesome too, right?"
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. And obviously your family's still here. You're
Mhm.
staying with them. Are they in Indianapolis? They're in Indianapolis still?
Well, technically, they're literally right on the other side of Indianapolis on 700 West, so they're in McCordsville. They're right across
That's
the
right.
road.
You talked about
is
that.
Indianapolis.
Wardsville. Oh my
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah.
That's a bit of
Yeah.
a trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not too bad, especially at 11:30 at night when
Yeah.
there's no traffic. But at 5:30 p.m., that's a different story.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm just super lucky and happy to be back home
Mm-hmm.
with such a wonderful and talented group of people. Megan, Emily, and I met 16 days ago
Right.
at the Beef and Boards open call.
Mhm.
And we've just been a
Yeah.
trio of friends ever since.
Ever
Yeah.
since.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, when you start to work so closely with people and you guys are doing so much together
Yes.
in the show, that just happens. That's just theater. You're just like you meet and you're just
Mhm.
automatically pushed into the rehearsal period together. So,
Yes.
no, Megan, are you from here?
I am from here.
Yeah.
I am originally from Carmel, Indiana, actually, believe it or not.
Oh
So
my God, that's right, show
yes.
choir.
Yes, the show choir.
Ambassador.
I'm a
I'm
Carmel
sure.
girl.
I'm
Yes,
sure
yes,
ambassador.
yes. And now I technically live in Indianapolis, but you know, right down the street.
And are your family, is your family here?
Yep. My parents are still here,
In
and
Carmel?
yeah, they are.
Oh.
Yeah, right off 136,
Oh.
literally. Yeah,
That's where we live. Where do they live?
they live off of, like right by Smoky Row pool.
Yeah, we're in the village of Mount Carmel, so it's 100.
Yeah.
The junior, I live in the village of Mount Carmel.
Oh.
So it's 136, village of Mount Carmel. Oh
Gosh.
my God, your parents are right in our
We're
area.
neighbors.
Party.
Oh my
Nice.
God, yeah, well, not at our house here. So, well, maybe.
Yeah.
So Emily, go.
I am also from here. I was born in Indianapolis. I grew up Irvington area. And my parents now live in New Palestine, and I am in Noblesville.
Oh,
So
you are.
I am.
So you're up here. Oh, that's,
Yes,
oh, okay.
yeah, it's only 15 minutes
Yeah,
for
nothing,
me
right?
to get here,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's a quick drive.
And Kieran, you're living though. You have a place in the city. You have an apartment in the city.
I do,
right?
yeah. I live on 103rd and Central Park west of the Upper West Side of New York City.
That's very nice. How did you nab that
I
area?
know,
Through
right?
a friend
How
of a friend.
did you nab
A
that?
friend of a friend.
Come
Friend of a
on.
friend.
We live
I
on
will
Upper West
die
Side.
in that apartment.
It's very, very difficult to get places.
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
hard. Even renting, it's very difficult.
But, you know, again, that's why I'm just so happy to be back in Indianapolis because there's space.
Well, yeah.
And, you know, there's, you know, vegetation and greenery, so, and good theater too. So I'm really happy
Yes.
to be back.
Well, good. Yeah, it's nice when you can come home,
Yeah.
or when
Yeah.
you're with your and do it and work.
Mhm.
You know, you're
Yeah.
working and you're home. That's very nice. I know, really, really nice. So let me ask you, and I don't care who answers first, but when you were growing up, obviously you started in high school. You were in the ambassador. I'm assuming you were in the ambassadors.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
That's the show choir.
A 2-year ambassador, 1-year accent. Yeah. So.
You were okay.
Yep.
So, and our daughter is 3-year veteran of accents.
Yep.
So we know the whole deal with the show choir thing. She's in Select Sound too.
Yes.
So, and they have their ear candy concert tonight. Select Sound ear candy concert
I
at the high
heard
school.
about that.
They are an exceptional a cappella group over there. They're like, I'm blown away by these kids all the time, and only like 18 to 20 students are ever in this group. Anyway, so I diverse. So you kind of started then, right?
Yeah. I
And-
technically did my first show in middle school.
Right.
So I want to say I went to Carmel Middle School. So did my first show in 6th grade and then have never stopped since.
Yeah. Right.
Caught the theater bug and then
Right,
just
right.
continued. Yeah.
And was any of your families, were they, I was asked this, was there music? And of course there's music in the house. Was there music in the house? How were you influenced? You know, I mean, we all get influenced by our surroundings and where we grew up and who raises us, right?
Yeah.
Nature and nurture, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, who was there an influence, or was like, you know, my mom, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
mom dabbled in it unprofessionally,
Absolutely.
right? Or, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
So it's like,
Yeah, well, I come from a long line of barber shoppers. My my grandpa
Oh
and
my
my
gosh.
dad and a couple of uncles.
cool.
They all like competed like in barbershop, you
Oh
know.
my God.
So I definitely grew up around music. And then, you know, my parents always had music playing. I know the soundtrack to my childhood was like James Taylor,
yeah.
the Carpenters, Jimmy Buffett,
yes.
you know, all of that. Which is funny because those are all very chill, and I am the least chill.
No, yeah, right.
So,
yeah.
but yeah, you know, I was always around music, and I too was in show choir in high school. And I actually started in dance. I took dance lessons when I was 4, and just have always just kind of been, I don't know, in the creative space in some way.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
Karen.
awesome.
Well, my sister is a trained opera singer. She holds her BA from DePaul University School of
Yes.
Music.
Yes.
My mom is a singer, and my dad is a walking Rolodex of a jukebox. He can listen to any lyric and he can name the song like that. It's amazing. It's incredible. My grandmother's a pianist. My grandfather, God rest him, was a set designer. And then everyone on my mother's family were engineers. So we got some of the bug in our blood.
Yeah.
And it's just always been a part of my family growing up.
Right.
And we always had a piano, we always had sheet music, and we
Mhm.
always had a stereo playing. So it was always there.
Mhm.
It was always there.
That's,
And I too started in middle school. I
Yeah.
did my first show and I went,
that's
I
it.
cannot do anything else
That's
with
what
this
happened
life.
to me too. Middle,
Yeah.
junior high.
That's
Junior
how it
high
happens.
was-
Yep.
Yeah. Junior high, I did a show, and because I was doing sports.
Yeah.
Before that, and then, but always surrounded in the house by
Yes.
music, and always listen. I mean, going to shows. I grew up in New Jersey, right outside the city. I was going, shows all the, since I was a kid.
Mhm.
But yeah. Then it just was like, oh, I don't just like this. I think this is it.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Surrounded by it, but then you're like, oh no, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you? And I don't mean to say this, but you live here and you're not. How are you paying the rent right now? besides when you perform, and of course, get that paycheck. Yours is an interesting story.
Yeah, hers is way more interesting than mine. I work for a very small nonprofit. The national nonprofit is not small, but our chapter is pretty small. We represent family physicians, and I do membership retention and recruitment and things like that. I have an MBA in marketing. So yeah, my degree is not in theater actually. So that's what I do. I guess my real life. I don't know.
No, it's all real. You just gotta, it's all real. You're just multi-talented.
Yeah.
Right.
You just have different. Everybody has. You're fortunate.
Yeah.
You know what I
definitely
mean?
very lucky.
Because you just don't have one. Talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, go.
Yeah, so I do this full time. I'm a full time actor. And when I'm not doing this, basically, or if I have a break in between gigs or things like that, I work with a magician. His name is David Rinaldi, and he is one of the top magicians here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I am his events assistant. So I actually work on the back end of his stuff. I help him with emails and inbox and all sorts of contracting and all sorts of things in entertainment. So it's lots of fun. So it's still in the entertainment side of things in the world, but it's definitely a different side, like the back end of things.
Right,
So,
because she's not getting sawed in half.
no,
Or
not that kind of
jumping out of a box and then
But-
disappearing.
I
yes,
know.
it's super fun. And I have my BFA in musical theater from Belmont University. So I do this full time. And then when I'm not doing this, I work with the magician. And it's so fun.
How did you get that?
I met him online. Not kidding.
Oh my God. So Kieran,
Oh my God.
obviously, did you just go to school for theater?
I
It was
did,
great.
yeah.
Where'd you go?
I went to Purdue University up in Fort Wayne. That's where I got my BA. And then I went to the University of Alabama, Roll Tide, where I got my MFA in acting. And I served on the faculty for 3 years, which was amazing. Yeah. So I've got a few notches in my belt.
Wow, yeah, you do.
Yeah. And then that's when I moved to New York, and I, over the past 2 years, have done enough work to become a member of Actors Equity Association. So I too do this full time. And then when I'm in between my gigs, I do some temp work in the city.
That's typical. Yeah, that's typical.
That's
right?
what you do.
Oh boy. My latest one was with a eyeglass company, and it was a week-long event. And so they had all of their clientele from around the country and people with large bank accounts come in and look at the new seasons, Gucci, Saint Laurent, Balenciaga,
Oh my
Bottega
God.
Veneta, all of their, eyeglass and sunglasses, and people would drop tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh.
And I went, okay. So,
Were they giving away any samples? We don't
I know.
well, literally,
yeah.
I was
You
like,
can have the Prada there.
Last season's
I
Prada.
was like, oh, these look good.
Yeah.
But, it's so interesting. Like, you get to play for a job when you're lucky enough to do it.
Yeah.
But then, like, all the fun stuff you get to do in between, too. Like, again, like, there's nothing else you could ever imagine doing with your time.
That's
No.
right.
Ever.
Yeah.
Except maybe being a magician's assist.
It's pretty fun.
That
not gonna
tops
lie.
it. That tops it.
It's
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. So we're going to wrap it up. That's what it is. We do 15, a little over 15 minutes. Okay. I'm pretty tight. with the podcast. No, but listen, these guys are great. It's a really wonderful cast, I have to tell you. And this is just 3 of them, in the show. And they're all really great dancers and working hard. We're all really, really working hard to get this show up. Like I said, it's huge. But But thank you, Kieran and Megan and Emily. Thank you so much for taking the time again. And come see Mr. Confidential, please, April 28th to May 14th at the Studio Theater, Actors Theater of Indiana. Cindy Collins, one of the co-founders. I'm also in the show, along with my associates Judy Fitzgerald and Don Farrell. All three of us are in this one. And that's a head explosion right there. But please come see us, and thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll see you next week with more people from Mr. Confidential. Thanks.